Hello lovely people, how are you all today? Are you well? Are you tickety-boo? I hope so. I am, thank you. First things first, the astute amongst you will notice I've got wet hair. It's hair washing day, in any case, but I got caught in a bit of a downpour this morning, so I thought when I got back, just get the hair wash done now. I normally do it at bedtime and just let my hair air dry on my pillow at night like a sort of little fairy tale princess. More like a goblin. Never mind. The weather has changed. There's no two ways about it. We've gone from... we have had the most beautiful, warm, sunny days and balmy evenings. It's been gorgeous. And suddenly, we're a bit chilly. We're not cold, but we're definitely chilly. We've dropped about 10 degrees. We're damp. We're suddenly getting some rain. There's a fierce wind today. My goodness me. It's definitely feeling... I was going to say autumnal. It's actually feeling quite wintry. Normally at this time of year, I start to feel a bit maudlin. I'm a real summer girl. I'm such a summer girl. You can see that over the years in the videos. You can see it. You can see how happy I am when I'm out in the sunshine, just basking in outdoor time. I get outdoor time in the winter, of course I do. But I love the light, I love the long, long days. So yes, at this time of year, normally I get very maudlin. I sort of have that thing of, I don't want the summer to go, I want to cling on to it, which is so stupid because I know, I'm an adult, I've learned that no matter how much I wish for the summer to last, it ain't gonna. This year, that's a prezzy, I'm going to show you in a second. This year I am definitely going to try to embrace this change of season. It's like a change of season and a change of pace, isn't it? So I am going to try to embrace it this year. Be in the moment and looking forward rather than looking backwards and missing and wishing. Because like I said, that doesn't change a thing, does it? Let me just show you my prezzy. Also, checking the weather forecast, we've got a couple of dry days for the end of September. Great. I'm going to use those to do harvesting. And then it looks like for the first week of October, it's going to be nothing but rain. So I'm going to be dusting off my welly boots again for the first time for the first time since February. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months. Proper rain for the first time in 7 months. So yeah, dusting off the wellies. But also, I'm not going to open it because it's a brolly. It was a prezzy from Richard and Paul. Now anyone amongst you who's a sports fan will instantly recognise the colours. Let's see if I can flap a bit down. Let's see. Look! Wimbledon merchandise! Oh my goodness! What a great prezzy! Thank you so much, boys. I've never in my life had any Wimbledon merchandise. I really want a Wimbledon towel. I've only been once to Wimbledon. It was a friend who'd applied for the lottery for the date of my birthday, because she knows what a huge fan I am, and actually managed to get tickets. Brilliant. The year I went, oh my goodness, it was wonderful. We accidentally came into the wrong gate, and that was fine because it brought us directly outside of centre court, where all the big scoreboards are and the ivy-clad exterior, that classic shot we see on TV all the time. I can hardly speak right now. I was stood there thinking, I'm here. This is my Mecca. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone who's Muslim. I'm not belittling Mecca for you, but it was kind of that sort of moment for me. But at the time that we went, I was still an actor, and I think I must have been out of work at the time or something. I had no dosh, so I couldn't afford a Wimbledon towel or a Wimbledon brolly, but now I've got one, thanks to the boys. Yay! Loving it, loving it, loving it. Right, I've got a little list of things I wanted to chat about. First of all, I'm sitting here at my desk in the living room. I've got a desk in the kitchen too, as you'll have seen over time. When I'm in the kitchen, it tends to be when I'm editing and doing anything to do with my social media. When I'm doing things for the shop, that sort of thing, I bring it out here because generally I've got more room to spread. You can't see it, but there's boxes down here. I've got room to spread things about so that as I'm uploading and describing items, I can kind of handle them again to describe them. Today it's more eBaying. It's the very last of my eBaying. It's the last of the big clear out. Actually, it's not the big clear out. That's a bit of a misnomer. I don't need to have a big clear out because generally speaking, look, I live in a very small home. I don't have space to have lots of stuff. And even if I lived, if I lived in a 5-bedroom mansion, I still wouldn't have a lot of stuff because I don't tend to buy stuff. It's partly that frugal thing, it's partly the environmentalist in me, but also it's just my sensible head. I'm quite fortunate that I've never fallen for those tricks of shiny objects placed in windows by shops or what have you. I just don't buy stuff I don't need. When I do buy things, it's generally because I need the item. So, for instance, clothes. But even with clothes, I don't go clothes shopping and buy a whole new wardrobe. Generally what will happen is I'll have an item of clothing which wears out and it gets to the stage where it's beyond repair. It's so threadbare that all it's good for is cutting up into rags for cleaning, mopping the floor, whatever. And on those occasions, yes, I will go and buy a new top, for example. Actually, someone was asking this the other day on one of the videos about where I get my clothes, because she likes a lot of my blouses. Sorry to say, they're all from charity shops. Well, I'm not sorry to say. What I mean is, I'm sorry to say I can't tell you where you can go and get the same item because pretty much, everything I wear has come from a charity shop. So the chances of you finding the same thing are nigh on impossible. They're probably products which another shop made and sold 10 years ago. I don't know. Actually, one of my tips for charity shopping for clothes, I think in the States you call it thrift shops rather than charity shops. Look, I think they're pretty much the same thing. It's other people's second-hand stuff they've got rid of that's perfectly good still, but they just don't want it. You go along to your thrift shop and you buy a top like this for, say, £5 instead of, when it was new, £25. The big difference is, in the UK, with them being charity shops, that £5 I spend on the top is going to a charity. And I love that. I absolutely love it. I'm getting a bargain. The charity is getting some money. So, yes, I don't accumulate clutter. I've got a bit of a one in, one out policy. My bookshelves are over there. Not quite one in, one out. It's more like maybe 4 in, 1 out. Actually, in fairness, having said that, the last 4 books I've read are no longer in my home. They've all already been either given to friends, one of them went into the shop and it sold, one of them has gone back to the charity shop. So, yeah, I'm pretty good about, I read it, pass it on. Yes, so it's not a big clear out like some of you may need to do. You know you need to do it, don't you? If you, excuse me, if you can't close your wardrobe doors, I mean, come on, that is silly, isn't it? You've probably got stuff in your wardrobe that's got tags on it still, brand new tags. Just make a commitment. Look, the great thing, I was just talking about the weather, wasn't I? The great thing about this change of season is there are going to be undoubtedly lots more days spent at home now than on the farm. So why don't you make that commitment to yourself? One weekend to say, right, on the Saturday, or even start it on the Friday night, hey, get a bottle of wine on the go, have a little party about it. Get some music, crank it up really loud, put a bit of Queen on, we will chuck you out, whatever it takes, a bit of wine, a bit of music, go through your wardrobe, be ruthless. If you haven't worn it in the last couple of years, you ain't gonna wear it. It's the truth. Make 4 piles, 1 pile, I love it, I wear it often, I'm keeping it, it can go straight back in the wardrobe. Another pile, oh, I haven't worn this for ages because there's a little tear in the armhole, for example, it goes in the repair pile. The repair pile is only allowed to stay for 1 month. If you haven't repaired it in a month, it's either rags or repair it and give it to the charity shop. So, back in the wardrobe because you wear it and you love it. In a pile for repairs. And then your last 2 piles, a pile for your local charity shops or thrift shops, if you're in the States, and another pile for you to sell, as I'm doing with stuff, sell on eBay or whatever it is. I know you've got different things in different countries. I think we all have eBay across the whole world, but within your country you may have different selling platforms which will work better for you, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just unburden yourself and get rid of it. Be happy in the knowledge that donations have been made. Make a few spare quid for yourselves. And then next time you go to your wardrobe and open it, it will be a pleasure rather than that constant reminder of how cluttered your life is. Because I'm telling you now, a cluttered wardrobe, that's kind of like a representation of your mind. Ooh. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm going to rattle through some more eBay stuff now. Then that's the last of that. That would be great. Anything that doesn't sell now, that's fine. It can go straight to the charity shops. Hopefully there'll be a few quid raised because I've got my boiler service coming up. Remember I mentioned that the other day. Now, I do have money set aside for that. I'm such a nerd, I know. What I would say, if you're living frugally or living without a wage, the one thing you have to do, or I would say you have to do it, is have a think about all the known expenses that you have every year, not just monthly. So monthly, we know we've got our gas, electricity, water, council tax, internet service provider, that sort of thing. But there are annual bills which always come. So for me, my annual bills are things like my web hosting, my PO box, my ground rent for my property, my building's insurance, the maintenance fee I pay for the building, but also my boiler service. Because I know I do it every year. I know I'm going to do it every year. I know that it's about 100 quid each year. So I say to myself, right, that's 8 quid a month. If I spread that 100 quid over the whole year, I'm not going to have 100 quid tomorrow if I don't plan for it. So yeah, every month I put 8 quid away for the boiler so that when that time of year comes around, that's 96 quid, pretty much covers it. But with things like the eBay at the moment, that'll be a little bit extra to add to it so that if I shouldn't need it, but if I need a new part in some part of the boiler, it's a little bit of money extra generated for that. I'm a great advocate for this thing of just, you know, if your cupboards are stuffed full of stuff you're not using, that's money just being shoved into the back of a cupboard. Release it. And if you make a few quid from it, don't necessarily, oh, that wind. Yeah, don't necessarily go out and just blow it all straight away. Just put it in a little house fund account so that when these little either known or unknowns, I sound like that American, I can't remember his name, doesn't matter. If these little unknown bills or unforeseen bills come up, you've just got that little bit of a fund ready for them. So yes, I'm getting myself thoroughly ready for autumn and winter and having more time indoors than out. And actually there's a natural kind of cycle and rhythm to that with the garden too, which is perfect in that over the coming weeks, I've got a lot of harvest processing to do. I've got all the lavender to process. That is going to take up quite a few evenings, I can tell you. It's the sort of stuff, pop the radio on, pop a TV show on, pop a film on, whatever it is. If I do 2 or 3 hours of it every night, it'll probably take 2 or 3 weeks of doing it every night, but listen to something as I'm doing it. There's all sorts of seed saving going on. With the calendula seeds, I'll have that time of sorting the wheat from the chaff, as it were. So yeah, I'm going to try and embrace this time that's coming up with these dark evenings spent at home, still being productive, trying not to miss the garden and miss the summer, but also days like today, which are just so grotty. I don't mind being in the garden when it's grotty, but you know, if there's something I want to film, it's just pointless when it's raining and windy like this. So yeah, I'm setting myself up nicely now for the rest of the autumn and winter with things to do indoors, things to crack on with, things to keep me out of mischief. Oh, and also, hang on, slurp. We're getting to that time of year where I now do like the occasional hot drink. And this is just some lemon and honey, just as a little bit of a pick-me-up. Yes, with this little strand of videos I've been doing, I'm just looking at the clock as well, because I know I'm such a chatterbox, aren't I? You know, that was on every single one of my school reports, from the age of 4 right through to the age of 16. Vivi is a chatterbox. If Vivi would stop chattering quite so much and concentrate, she might be able to achieve. Ah, well, ha ha ha, teachers, I did achieve, even with all my chattering. Digressing. What I wanted to say about this little strand of videos I've been doing since the beginning of August, and since not having the sewing machine, it was just a sort of a little fill-in really, whilst there wasn't so much going on in the garden in August because it was all about watering and I wasn't doing any sewing, didn't have any of that to bring you. But actually, in a totally selfish way, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed having these little chatty videos with you all, and I know they haven't been to everybody's taste and they don't get the highest views. I don't care, it doesn't matter, because what I do know is that those of you who've enjoyed them have really enjoyed them, and we've had a nice kind of, you know, back and forth with each other, which is great, which is what I always want. So I think I'm basically going to be carrying on doing this sort of thing as and when, whenever, forever talking. I need an outlet for my chatter, but I'm not going to call it, for instance, like this month it's called September Timeout Day, whatever title. I'm just going to call it Timeout and the date, just to simplify things. And yeah, I like the freedom of it. I like the freedom of being able to, it's not like doing a gardening or cooking video where I have to think about it beforehand. I have to storyboard it. I have to set up a gazillion and one different shots and, you know, a much longer edit and all that. It's just nice to be able to sit and chat, to be honest. And I think, you know, over the years, I think, you know, we've built up a lovely relationship and a lovely community here, so I definitely think there's space for it to continue. Well, at least I hope there is. So, what have I got to get on with today? There's a ton of stuff on my list, so I'm going to crack into that. There was other things I was going to talk to you about today, but I'm aware that I always do go on one, so they can just wait for another day, can't they? Definitely. Right, time for me to upload to eBay. Today it's all going to be about DVDs and the not valuable books. And then later on, I did another big pick of tomatoes a couple of days ago. So I think later on I'm going to start roasting them. And I've got a couple of portions of peppers from last year in the freezer. And I'm starting to need my freezer space. So I'll have those out to add to it. I need to have a bit of a freezer rejig too. The list doesn't end, does it? I love it. Never a dull moment at the cottage in the sky. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would think all of this is incredibly dull. I don't care. For me, it's not. For me, it's all part of the joy of just getting on, looking after myself, trying to be as self-sustaining as possible, and enjoying a happy, healthy, fulfilling life without going and working for someone else every day for a few quid. Work for myself instead. Right, on that note, I'm going. So please look after yourselves. I know I keep saying the next time you'll see me, it will be in the garden. But this weather it sort of came out of nowhere. So there will have to be some garden days in the next week. There have to be, because of the weather. I need to get organised and get harvesting. So hopefully the next time you see me, we'll be in the garden again. Don't hold your breath. Don't count on it. Right, okay. Until then, please stay well, look after yourselves, and go and sort your wardrobe or your closet or your dressing room, whatever you call it. Go and have a blimmin' good sort out. Give some stuff away and make someone's day. Sell some stuff and make a few quid for a backup plan over the winter. Whatever it is, just go and do it. Now, go on, hop it. Go and sort your wardrobe. Bye. Okay, all the wardrobe sorters have gone. So the last few of us who are left, just between us, bye for now.